بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. MashaAllah. Just checking if you're awake, and you quite clearly are. This session, next one, it would be a great idea if you're fully engaged with body, mind, heart, and spirit, because this is a theory where I want you to learn a very short formula. I call this the formula for success, because this is a meditation of supplication and Muraqabah and dua, where you will be taught how to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then how to most essence of this Muraqabah is how to do dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as you know, the essence of worship is dua. But dua, unfortunately, is one of the most least understood, one of the most least utilized weapons of a believer. Dua is the weapon of a believer. Many of us who do dua, either people don't do dua. If they do, they don't do it properly. They don't know how to do it. And, we do it in a very half-baked, half-hearted manner. And I'll explain to you shortly what I mean by that. We are suffering from problems. We have issues. We have needs that we need to fulfill. And what happens many of the times is that we rely on other people. I have a problem. I want to phone my friend Jimmy. Jimmy can't help, then I'll try Timmy. Timmy can't help, then I'll try somebody else, right? And it's only when I've exhausted all the avenues of the creation of Allah, and even my own efforts, my own intellect, then sometimes people think about turning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They think, okay, let's go to the masjid and let's do dua. And even at that stage, it becomes like a transactional sort of a deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah, you fulfill this need of mine. I'm suffering from this problem, this illness. Once this illness goes away, I will then go on Hajj. I will go to Umrah. I will then donate so much money to charity. So we enter into a deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even in those moments as well, rather than just worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for who He is in terms of His majesty, His sovereignty, His supremacy, the fact that He is the Lord of all the worlds. And we still often tell a story where a couple of years ago, I remember when in our local masjid, normally, as you know, if you regularly go to the same masjid, it's majority of the times, it's the regular faces that turn up for Fajr. And the one day, there was this brother who I'd never seen before. He'd come for Fajr. He'd asked the Imām Sahib to do a prayer for him. And Imām Sahib, after Salah, would say, this brother of ours has an immigration problem. He's trying to, sort out his stay and do dua, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it a success and gives him success in his application. So he used to come almost every day for about a month or so, or, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever long it was. One day I went into the masjid and there was a box of sweets, mithai there for Fajr. So I thought, oh, that's strange, there's a box of mithai for Fajr. And then Imām Sahib at the end of Salah says, thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our brother here has been successful in his immigration application. He's got his stay now. There's some sweets here for everyone to share and partake in the blessings. And then since that day, I never ever saw that brother again in the masjid. This is the kind of deceptive relationship that we have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What I want to share with you today is how to have this beautiful relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every single day, not based on this greed or this need that once this is fulfilled, then we stop doing dua, we stop worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we go back to our normal sort of ways. And then we remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we have a problem. Just a quick show of hands, shout out the answers. What sort of problems and needs are people suffering from this day and age? I think you may have seen something on the screen accidentally. So, but shout out the answers from the right-hand side. Anxiety, depression, okay. Next. Sorry? Marriage. Marriage, divorce, you're trying to get married, you can't find a spouse, or when you do find a spouse, you're trying to find ways to get rid of them. You know, there's all sorts of different issues affecting us all. And you say, and you laugh at that, that's so true. I know people are struggling to find this. I know a guy who's struggling to find a spouse to get married. And when he did get married, he was so sick of his spouse that he couldn't find ways to get, he was looking for ways to get rid of them. Okay, shout out. Financial, yes. Anything else? Sorry? Hey. Job, yeah, job related. Death of a loved one. Bad habits. I've given one already there, which somebody's already mentioned. Can you see the screen? Screen. Okay, next. Health, yeah, very good. Or I mentioned the next one, debt. So very closely connected with money, family problems, marriage problems. Okay, job, somebody's mentioned. Children, that image there. Next one shows children. A lot of people are having issues with children at the moment. Children not listening to them, gone off the rails. Depression signified there by somebody taking alcohol again. That could be, you know, showing an addiction. Our needs that we should be asking for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, these are our problems. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to resolve these problems. But when we ask for needs, there's certain things that we should also ask for that sometimes we don't ask for. Yeah. So let's hear, what would you ask for? We can ask for money, yeah, no problem. I started you off there. What else could we ask for? Sorry? Games. Getting closer to Allah. You know what? MashaAllah. Look at that. The next slide. The number one thing to be asking for is getting close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We sometimes forget one of the biggest needs. We ask for money, we ask for a spouse, we ask for a new car, house, but we forget to ask Allah from Allah. Ya Allah, you are our biggest need. We want you, Ya Allah. Beautiful young Ahmed there really hit the nail on the head. Next, something else closely related to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, but that's, you know, asking for Allah is automatically gaining forgiveness. Sorry? Love of the? Yeah, mashallah. Next one is, we ask for closeness to the beloved messenger, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. You know, how many of us actually truly ask for that in our du'as? Ya Allah, allow me to be a good copy of the best of creation, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You know, let him be our role model in our life, rather than the boldest role models that we do have. I mean, this again is a no-brainer, asking for a new house. And one thing I would mention, okay, what else is associated closely with the new house? Yeah, mashallah. New cars, you have a nice big house with a nice drive. It's going to look a bit good without a nice car, then, isn't it? Yeah. And there's nothing, what I want to emphasize here, there's nothing wrong with asking for the wealth of the dunya. There's nothing wrong with asking for a big, lovely. There's nothing wrong in asking for the best conveyance in terms of a nice new car, right? Although that image there may not necessarily be the best nice new car, but it just gives you the, you know, just to drill home the point that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is beautiful. He loves beauty. That's why we should, if we are able to, dress in the best clothes. We should have the best conveyance, we should have the best homes. The issue is that you have to strike a balance that that does not become the most all-consuming, dominating, like thought, stroke, objective of your life, that you forget Allah and His beloved Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You want to get the best car, home, and you want to, in the process, earn haram, forget halal, trample over other people's rights, violate their things and rights, and then you want to achieve this. No. The real, as Allah says, as the friends of Allah saying that the real success is the one who has money, but it stays in his hands. It doesn't enter his heart. This is where the problem is, when people start loving money so much that it takes over their lives and they forget to, fulfill the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the beloved Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And finally, also is marriage, which again, if you're not married, looking for a wife, then ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help. I'll come back to you in 1 second. Career, business, these are money again, so money must be so important that it's come up again. Again, nothing wrong with asking for money. So what I mentioned at the beginning, dua is the weapon of the believer. But we very rarely resort to that. There's other things we rely on first before we jump onto the dua to connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So very quickly, if you can shout some answers, what we rely on before we turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help fulfill our needs and overcome our problems. Family, friends, internet, okay. Use our own money to overcome our problems. Anything else? Sorry? Neighbors, yeah? Friends, family. Anybody, anything from this side? What do we rely upon other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The bank. Okay. Money, same thing. Okay, I'll start giving you some of the answers. Look at our own intellect. We think we're so clever that I can fulfill it. And Qarun, one of the people at the time of Hazrat Musa al-Islam, yeah, these were very rich people, and they used to attribute their success to their own intellect. And this is also a dangerous thing in our time, that we don't think that our success is due to our intellect. And if I'm going to need that I want to achieve, then I'm going to rely on my own intellect. So many people do that. They rely on their own intellect and their own efforts and hard work when they want to achieve something. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us that even if you want a shoelace, even if you want a small, loaf of bread, to rise up to the biggest things that we think which are big in our life, like the big houses and big cars, always rely and ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't rely on your own intellect. Don't rely on your own network. Don't rely on your networks and contacts and political and social friends and circles. This is what we do. We knock on the door of our friends, the politicians, the local councillors, the MPs, the businessmen who've got the money. We think that he will help solve our problem when we get into difficulty. But when they do and they slam the door on our face, it's then, as I've said, we go and turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And people have mentioned already, we sometimes rely too much on our own money and our wealth. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses us with some money, we think that I'm sorted now. No problem can hit me because I've got money. I'm sorted. I can take care of that. I can buy people. I can buy myself out of trouble. But don't ever rely on this wealth, because here today, it can be wiped out tomorrow. We've seen many people living in palaces and oops, this one you may not have thought about, but it's a very serious issue, is the fake these are the witch doctors that people turn to. Very, very common in our communities. Can you see that? Fake peas and witch doctors. And finally, our own research. Yes, Rahman. You have these fake pious people. You have these people who pretend that they're able to do magic. They can resolve all your problems through a magic spell. You've lost a loved one, you've lost somebody, they've gone away. You can cast a magic spell on them and they'll come back into your life magically. You want money, they'll tell you the lottery numbers. There's so much rubbish out there at the moment that people are being duped into. And if you're not careful, not only you will lose your money, but you will lose your Imām as well by going to people like that. And the reason I mention it is because it is a sad fact of reality today, that especially, these things don't just happen in the Pak subcontinent, back in India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. They're happening here right under our nose in the UK, where these people have set up their little stores for business and they are duping people. So stay away from them. By going to them, you're going to harm yourself and your Imām, because you've taken the belief and the tawakkul away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you've placed it on these witch doctors and fake peas. Does that make sense? Yeah? And our own research, again, somebody mentioned about the internet. Sometimes we get the problem. We go on the internet to try and resolve that problem, right? But what we should really be doing is we should be turning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most supreme, sovereign, all-seeing, all-knowing, and powerful Lord who holds the keys to the treasures of the whole universe and beyond. We haven't really got to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't know how powerful your Lord is and how He just says be and it becomes. We just really have, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I am as my servant expects of me. And we have, unfortunately, na'udzu billah, we have a very low expectation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we do a dua, imagine if you want a big house or a big car. I keep mentioning these because these are things people can easily relate to, right? And it's not a bad thing either, as long as it doesn't become the objective of your life. Sometimes, our du'as are very weak. They suck because we don't know how to do the dua, simply because we have a very low expectation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when I'm asking for a big house, already in my mind, I've got doubts, thinking, I don't know if this is going to be fulfilled or not. It's a big thing I'm asking for. It's a very, very big thing. And then that doubt creeps in whilst you're doing dua. Once you've finished the dua, you walked away and you're still suffering from self-doubt. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who knows the most deepest secret inner thoughts of us, of our thoughts, He says, my servant is already doubting me. My servant thinks I cannot fulfill this. This is the Lord of all the worlds who has said the value of this dunya is not even equivalent to the wing of a mosquito in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yet the things we ask for, they're even really in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala far, far less valuable than that wing of a mosquito. But in our mind, we've projected them to be so big. And I'll come back to give you opportunity for questions later, please. Yeah. In our mind, we project these things to be so big that we think, how is that going to be fulfilled? This is the essence of the dua, that our job is to ask. Our job is not to ask how it's going to be fulfilled. That is a job of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who feeds even the ant crawling under a rock, which me and you don't even know about. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides for that ant. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala why would He not provide for us, the best of creation, the Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? So would you agree that is true? I just want a quick show of hands that when we do dua, we sometimes doubt those dua that they're going to be fulfilled because we are looking at it through the lens of our own self-limitations. Does that make sense? Do you do that? I mean, I would be honest, I used to do that. Yeah? So let's have a show of hands who has done that in the past, that when you've done dua, and you've doubted that it's going to be fulfilled because you are looking at it with your own self-limitation. That today, I want to teach you that remove that limitation because it's not your job to fulfill that dua. It's not your job to overcome that problem. You've handed it over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we are going to just go through, and again, just a couple of extra slides. But this was a very interesting one. I always say that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the keys to the treasures of this dunya and the hereafter. And there's no shortage of treasures in the bank of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this dua that I'm going to teach you now, Muraqabah dua, which some of you obviously have already been taught, but I can see there's some new people who have not been taught this. This is like somebody giving you a bank card, which is going to be used in the ATM in the bank of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the formula is the 4 numbers that you have on the card. That's what this formula is. You are being given the PIN number to the ATM machine of the bank of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Never underestimate the importance of what I've just said there. The PIN number to Allah's treasury. And just really, it's a complete paradigm shift, a change of mindset that I want to teach you guys today. So let's go through the formula. I think done a sort of a good overview of how you can open your mind up to the power of dua. So this is a meditation where you sit quietly, you close your eyes, and we teach you how you imagine the beautiful name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you should know that Allah does not answer the dua that comes from a heedless heart. That's what I said earlier. You do dua, should be fully engaged with mind, body, heart, and spirit. Because majority of the times when you do dua and your mind's wandering somewhere else, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that this is a heedless heart. So if I'm sitting in front of you, each of you think about yourself individually. If I'm talking to you and I come to you to see you, especially I've gone to your house, I've knocked your door, say, brother, I've come to see you. I have a need and I have a problem. I was hoping if I can discuss that with you. And you say, yeah, of course, come in, let's have a chat. You put the kettle on, and then I start, I'm talking to you and I start going on my phone and looking at a message. I say, yeah, I came to see you about a problem and this is what I'm suffering from. 1 minute, this message come through. And you're sitting there staring at me and thinking, this guy is not even fully connected to me. He's come to my house. He's on the phone. His mind's somewhere else. So you will be put off in wanting to help this person. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that when a person is asking whether he is fully engaged and has done his complete, turn his attention to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or is his mind wandering somewhere else? So very, very important. I don't expect you to remember this if you're seeing this the first time because it will be a guided session. Inshallah, I'll guide you. We start with the first 3 keys. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with me, watching me and hearing me. Then we start with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Then for 3 times Astaghfirullah. Then 3 times Durood Sharif. Then 3 times La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. We close our eyes, we imagine the blessed name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala above us in this room. You have some meditations already, Muraqabah, so you're very familiar with the concept. Then imagine the light from Allah's blessed name is descending from the name and coming into your body through the crown of your head, as you can see that, right? And then That light is penetrating through the crown of your head into your body and even goes past your heart and fills the whole of the body with the mood of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessed name. So just imagine when it passes the crown of your head, in your mind, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name gets imprinted on your brain, your mind. When it descends down to your heart, your spiritual heart, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name gets imprinted on your heart. So imagine also that every single thing around you is doing the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It truly is. It's us human beings and jinns that we become heedless, but everything else, the angels, the animals, the plant kingdom, the mountains, everything else is constantly in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's just me and you that we become heedless, oblivious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, become too engaged in the dunya. So everything around you is doing the zikr of Allah. And then this Muraqabah is about 7 things. Remember the magic number 7. 7, okay? So in the first instance, obviously once you brought your mind into the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, think about 7 of your biggest sins that you have committed. And you don't need to tell me or the person next to you. This is a silent communication you are having with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your heart. And we are going to seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from 7 of our biggest major sins that we have committed knowingly, unknowingly, that we today feel great regret and shame for. Are you with me so far, yeah? Inshallah, as we do the Muraqabah, the practical session, I will be guiding you, so you don't have to worry how many times, what do I think about now, what do I think now? I'll be guiding you. So the next thing that you have to think about is the 7 of your biggest blessings. I mean, in just a few moments, we're going to think about the 7 of your biggest blessings, your health, your wealth, the food that you're able to eat, the house, your roof over your head, your family, the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you've been gifted with without even asking, ummati of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So much that we can thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for. That really, as I say, if you use the ink from the ocean will dry up, but the blessings, you writing down the blessings will not finish. So that's how much blessings Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with. Then we need to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for our needs. The whole essence of this dua is we want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fulfill 7 of our biggest needs. And if you're greedy like me, you'll have more than 7 needs. But you just say 7, just as a way of, having a formula, a written formula. Once you practice this and you go back home, you may just have 2 to 3 needs. You may have 10 needs or 20 needs. There's nothing stopping you. As I've said before, there's no limit to the treasures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can ask for whatever you want, however many times you want, whatever you want. It doesn't matter. And this is just to guide you for the purpose of this session. Then you present 7 of your biggest problems to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remove those problems. I speak here from experience. I do this dua and I've had some problems which just disappear miraculously. At the time, I'm thinking, oh my God, how is this problem going to be overcome? It's far beyond my capacity to deal with it. But I do dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the problem disappears miraculously, honestly, miraculously. And it's the same for needs as well. You ask for a certain need and you've got no idea how you're going to achieve that, how you're going to fulfill that, because it's beyond your capacity. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala delivers to you in such a way that really it is a miracle. Miracle. Ji. Yeah. A need, the secret is in the word itself that you need it. Problem is something you don't need. Yeah. So you want a need, something you're trying to achieve, whether it's a job or it's money or more closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Problem is you don't want it. Ya Allah, please get rid of it. I don't want this problem. It could be a health problem. I'm suffering from this illness. Ya Allah, please get rid of it. Ya Allah, I have debt. I can't deal with this debt. Please get rid of this debt for me. Did that answer your question? And so after your problems, you present 7 things that you need guidance on. So again, everything has a little bit of a distinction. What do we mean by guidance? Guidance is, I'm confused about something. Maybe you're looking to get married, you have a choice of spouses to choose from. Ya Allah, guide me, who shall I marry? You are thinking about a job change, career change. Ya Allah, guide me. Do I stay in this job or do I have this career change and go for this other job? Ya Allah, guide me. I've got, this issue that is confusing me. Which route shall I take? Left or right? There's things in our life every day that we need guidance on. You need guidance, and if you're married already, Allah, guide me to have a very happy, prosperous, peaceful life at home. If you've got children, Allah, help me guide my children. Guide them to the right path, right? There's no shortage of things you can ask for, inshallah. Okay, and finally, all these things that we've asked for, we put them in a box and we hand them back, over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say, Ya Allah, I put all these things in a box and now I'm relying on you. This is the reliance that we have to have on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not on me, not on my efforts, not on my intellect, not on my strength, my money, my friends, my network. Ya Allah, I'm relying upon yourself. I hand over all these problems to you. I've tried up until now to resolve them myself. I'm not able to do. I've tried with my own effort to achieve these things that I need. I've not been able to. Now I'm handing over to yourself. And then, inshallah, we finish off with a Durood Sharif. After each segment has been given some time for you to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this meditation. Are we all clear on that? Yes, young Ahmed. Can't hear you? Doesn't matter, you can just think of one, just two. At your age, I very much doubt you're going to have many problems. So don't worry yourself too much. Anybody else? Quick question before I start. Don't ask me, I'll repeat that formula again, because I'm going to be guiding you on this formula. Yeah? Yes?
Compare a house and the weight of the speaker more value. How so?
No. Let me clarify what I said. In the side, we say this dunya is so big, is so much riches and so many things of luxury that we want in this dunya. But reality, in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this dunya has no value. Yeah? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has stated that this dunya is not even equivalent to the wing of a mosquito in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah? Yes, the things we ask for, which are inside this dunya, to us they are very big. And really, they are far less than the stature of the dunya. So in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the things we ask for, they're even less valuable. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that these things are very little value, so when we ask, we are asking things of very low value, whether it's money, house, car, they are no value to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So at the same time, we should ask with confidence that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can easily fulfill these needs for us, because I'm not relying on my own efforts and intellect. For those brothers who have just turned up, I've just given a very brief overview of how to do Muraqabah dua, a very, very powerful dua to help achieve success in this dunya. So don't worry that if you've just walked in, I'm going to guide this whole session. You're going to close your eyes and you're going to follow me what I say, what I tell you to recite, what to even think, right? And then inshallah we'll close this Muraqabah, and you are having your own journey and you are having your own heart your heart communication with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're communicating from the heart, right? Are we clear? Can we start this now? Yeah? Get comfortable. If you want to sit on the floor, sit on the floor. If you want to stay on the chair, stay on the chair. And cut down on any distractions, switch your phone off. Because I'm telling you, this is so, so important that, you're building this connection. Sometimes, we have our phones on because there's some ongoing issues. We need to sort out problems, work-related things. What better than to tap into the treasury of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you fulfill all these issues and resolve them. What I want you lot to do is just focus on this image for now, so you know what to imagine. Imagine the blessed name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, start in 20 seconds. Get everyone a chance to sit down, settle down. As I said, this is the practical part now of what I've just highlighted to you, the formula for success, the Muraqabah dua, meditation of supplication as put to us by the pious. Okay, we start. Now close your eyes, get comfortable. We start with 3 keys. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with me, watching me, and hearing me. So it's very important that you, with full mind, body, heart, and spirit, you are engaged and focusing upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's qualities and attributes. We start with, repeat after me, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. Alladhi la ilaha illa hu. Al-Hayyul Qayyum. Wa atubu ilayh. Astaghfirullah. Sallallahu ala Muhammad. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sallallahu ala Muhammad. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sallallahu ala Muhammad. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Now imagine the blessed name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is above you in this room in bright white shining lights, illuminated, and the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is descending down and is entering the crown of your head and slowly filling up your whole body, illuminating the whole body. And as it passes your mind, you can see the mind is being activated. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessed name is being imprinted on the mind. Allah, Allah, Allah. As it descends down, the heart is being activated. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessed name is being written on your heart, being imprinted. The heart becomes activated. Allah, 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 Allah. And the whole body, right up to your fingertips, right up to your toes, is being illuminated with this beautiful light emanating from Allah's blessed name. And imagine everything in the whole creation is doing the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, every leaf, every flower, the mountains, every creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all the angels are doing the zikr of Allah. Allah, Allah, Allah. Now, I want you to focus on 7 of your biggest sins. Think about 7 of the biggest sins that you would like to seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is waiting for you to seek forgiveness and repent for these sins that you have done knowingly, unknowingly, openly or secretly, that you are today regretful for, you are shameful. But you have a Lord who is most merciful, who is the most forgiving. No matter how big your sins are, just remember they will never exceed the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy is even bigger than that. So just quietly there to seek forgiveness. Ya Allah, please forgive me for these sins. I will in future try not to do them again. That is my intention. I will cut the means of what has caused me to commit these sins. I will leave those friends that have caused me to be in this situation. So I'm just going to go quiet for a few moments now. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with me, watching me and hearing me. Now think about 7 of your biggest blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted you and showered you with. And thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah, we've never ever been able to thank you properly for all these blessings that we surely do not deserve. We don't even know how to thank you properly. Ya Allah, we've never thanked you, and today we will try the best of our ability to try and thank you for the Imām. People had fought wars to be able to practice their religion freely, and yet we have so much abundance of opportunity here. Ya Allah, you have made me an ummati of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is a huge blessing, huge blessing. Sending of the beloved messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is a huge blessing for us all. Ya Allah, the fact that I'm sitting here in the masjid, of all the people out there living in heedlessness, you have chosen to give me this knowledge. Ya Allah, it's a huge blessing. I just cannot thank you enough. And I have more than 7 blessings, but today I have chosen these 7 blessings to thank you for. Even if you have health issues, you are still better than many other people who may be bedbound, who may be unable to walk, who may be unable to eat. There's a blessing in every situation. Even in our wealth, we have more wealth than many other people out there. It's a blessing, huge, huge blessing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with me, watching me and hearing me. Now present 7 of your biggest needs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And know for certainty that every single thing that I'm going to ask for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can easily fulfill, no matter how big these needs are. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will fulfill and already start imagining that these things are becoming a reality of your life. Remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our biggest need. Ya Allah, if we achieve your closeness and pleasure, then we have got everything else that we can ever need. Ya Allah, if we get the whole world, but we lose you, we have lost everything. So you are our biggest need. Ya Allah, allow me to travel on this path and follow the footsteps of the beloved Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with me, watching me, and hearing me. Now think of 7 of your biggest problems These are problems that you do not want, you do not need, and you want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remove them from your life. Ya Allah, I have tried with my own efforts, I have tried with my own limited intellect to remove these problems, but I'm tired. I've not been able to do that. I now hand these problems over to yourself. Please remove them in such a way that they just disappear from my life. I don't know how, but only you know, Ya Allah, how this will be done. These problems sometimes distract me on the path to achieve your closeness because I'm always thinking about them. Ya Allah, help me overcome this challenge, overcome these problems. I want to get up from here with that knowledge that these problems have been handed over to yourself now, and you will deal with them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with me, watching me and hearing me. Now think about 7 of the things that you need most guidance on. You want help, you may be confused with something. Should I take the right path? Should I take the left path on this particular matter? Maybe it's a career change, business decision, family matter, and you need guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah, whatever is the right decision, make that happen for me. And whichever is the wrong path, the wrong decision, remove that option for me. So think about 7 of the things that you most need guidance on at this moment in time. Ya Allah, I don't want to rely on my own decision-making power, because most likely I will make the wrong decision. Ya Allah, you guide me. You make the best decision, the best option to come forward, and allow me to select the right one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with me, watching me and hearing me. Now finally, we put everything together and put it in one box. The repentance, the gratitude, the shukr for the blessings, our needs, our problems, our guidance. We put everything in a box and we hand it over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we say, Ya Allah, you are the most powerful, most sovereign, supreme Lord that we have. You are all-seeing, all-knowing, most powerful, and only you we ask, and only you we rely upon. We are relying upon you and you alone, Ya Allah. No longer relying on my own efforts, my own intellect, my own contacts. I'm going to get up from here with this joyous, confident feeling that I've now handed matters over to my Creator, my Lord, the Lord of all the worlds, who will now take care of all these matters for me. And I have nothing to worry about. Ya Allah, I rely upon you and you alone. Now we read Durood Sharif and we slowly open our eyes. Sallallahu ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. اللهم صل على محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وسلم تسليما. Your eyes. And I invite Hafiz Ishan to come to the front, please, inshallah. Between now and the next sort of 20 minutes or so before we break for Zohar, I would like to do a collective zikr led by Hafiz Ishan. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him with his melodious voice and, you know, get us all engaged in the zikr, inshallah. So if you can, again, if anybody's tired sitting on the floor, go sit on a chair now. Now this part I say is like recharging your battery, the spiritual battery, because you know how we charge our phone, the zikr charges the spirit, because with the zikr, that's where the heart finds rest, peace, and satisfaction. So if you come here, let's yeah, we got time. I'll tap you when I want you to finish, okay? Okay. Yeah, I'll briefly mention.
So as I mentioned, now we visit it. So again, in the same way that we begin with the intention that we are remembering Allah, and we come into the truth that Allah is with us, is watching us, and is hearing us. So try to maintain this thought throughout the visit and stay focused on Allah. And this is a loud visit, so everyone should be reciting loudly. We'll begin now. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا
وسلم على صلي وسلم على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم ولا صلي وسلم دائما حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم محمد سيد الكونين والثقلين محمد سيد الكونين والثقلين والهادي وسلم يا حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم هو الحبيب ترجى شفاعته لكل هول من الأهوال مقتحم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على صل وسلم دائما أبدا حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم إلا لا إله إلا الله إله إلا الله إله إلا الله إلا الله إلا حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله بمحمد صلى الله نور محمد صلى الله نور محمد صلى الله صلى الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه أستغفر الله أستغفر الله أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه صل على سيدنا ومولانا آله وصحبه وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا وعلى صل على سيدنا Jazakallah Hafiz Ishan for leading a beautiful session of zikr there. Inshallah, we break now for Zohar. Those of you who need to freshen up.